Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the video. We're going to do a quick review here of the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical 38. This is not a stranger to the watch community. This is a very popular Hamilton model. If you know anything about Hamilton and their history and tradition, their bread and butter is their khaki field line, their military field line, field watches. And this is, like I said, the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical 38. It's inspired by the 1940s World War II hack watch that was issued to U.S. troops back in World War II from Hamilton. Now, usually I start off with the dimensions of the case, but today we're going to start off with the movement. As you can see, the watch is not running at this time. I bought this watch when this model was first released back in 2018, and at that time it had the ETA 2801-2 movement with a 42-hour power reserve. But I'm not sure if it was last year or 2019. They did an upgrade. Hamilton did an upgrade on it to their H50 movement, which has an 80-hour power reserve. Now I don't know if that's a brand that's like full in-house movement of a Hamilton, or if they just modified the ATA. Sometimes they just do some branding and modifications on it and give it a whole new name. But this variant, my watch is the original 2801-2 with the 42-hour power reserve. And if you don't know the main difference between an automatic watch and mechanical watch, the automatic watch, you can hand wind it, but as well as you're moving around and the rotor and moves and vibrates, it automatically winds the watch, as well as you can hand wind it. But a mechanical watch, it has to be hand wound. So let's do that real quick, get a good spin on it and get it going. There you can see the second hand sweeping away now. So yeah, there we go. It's a good hand wind. So now, yeah, we'll jump into the case dimensions. It is a 42 millimeter across with a 47 lug to lug with drilled lugs, as you can see. It's only 9.5 millimeters tall, and that's with a slightly domed crystal and 20 millimeter lug width. So the case dimensions is one of the best things about this watch. It's just a very nice compact watch. A lot of times you don't even realize it's on your wrist, especially with that low profile, 9.5 millimeters. So yeah, it has drilled lugs, which make it easy and just change out straps. And before I had a watch, I think a Seiko Diver was my first watch that had drilled lugs. I'd always heard it, makes it easy for changing out straps and bracelets, but it really does. If you can get a watch that has the drilled lugs in it, it just makes your life a lot easier when changing out straps and bracelets. This one I don't really use it a whole lot because I just change from NATO strap to NATO strap on this. I've never had a bracelet on this, and I probably never will. It's a field watch. To me, it's perfect with a nylon NATO strap. In fact, that's what I typically have on it. I just recently changed out with this very inexpensive leather strap, which really looks cool on it. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but the quickest way when you get bored with a watch, the quickest way to mod it is to put a new bracelet or strap on it. So that's what I did, and I really like it. Has a 50-meter water resistance, non-screw down crown, signed crown. It has that retro H on it. Hamilton has a couple of different logos that they put on their crowns. This is what I personally call it has like a retro look to it. There you go. It is a non-screw down crown, sapphire crystal. One of the most popular things about this watch and noticeable about this watch is the case is not brushed. That is not a brush finish. That is a bead blast on it. It is, and the cool thing about it, it looks like it would be rough or have a texture to it, but this thing is silky smooth. It's just it's called a bead blast. A lot of field watches use it. Timex, Seiko has one of their lines of their Seiko 5 field watches that have a very similar finish to it. So yeah, and the dial is a very standard. Let me zoom in here. The dial is a very standard military field watch. It has a 12-hour markers on it and 24-hour military markers on it. It is a matte black finish dial with all white numbers and indices, and Hamilton is printed on there. It has a faux patina look to it. That's what that sand color look on the hour markers and the hands. It's luminate. That's the lume, the Super Luminova, but it has a patina look to it. Like if you were to look at this watch, you're supposed to think it is like a 1940s actual watch from World War II. That was the aesthetic they were going for. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to this watch. As you can see, it's just a very basic, great everyday watch, field watch. Dislikes about this watch, I wish it had a threaded crown. You know, a field watch, you never know what kind of climates you're going to be in. And yeah, you're not going to go submerging in it. It's not a diver, but you know, if you're out in the field, it rains, you could, you know, if you're out fishing and you have to put your hand and arm down in the water, yeah, this watch will maintain its water resistance, but a screw down crown will, you know, just gives you that warm fuzzy insurance that you're good to go. So I wish it had a screw down crown and 100 meters water resistance. 50 is, you know, you just never know. And while it is loomed, the hands are loomed, the markers are loomed, not the numbers, but the markers going around the chapter. It's a weak loom in my opinion. It lights up real good initially, but it fades really quick. So those are the things I dislike about the watch. What I like about this watch overall is just its general appearance. I love the old look of it. You know, it just disappears on your wrist. It's a small watch. Do a wrist check real quick. I am currently wearing my Zen 104, still in the honeymoon phase. So I'll put this on wrist real quick and you'll see what I'm talking about. You barely even feel it on your wrist. That's how light it is. What like I said, the case finish I like. That's one of the things I like about it, and the vintage aesthetic. Just the overall appearance of the watch. Yeah, there's a couple of shortcomings to it, but overall, I love this watch. It hasn't got as much wrist time lately as it did when I first got it, but that's just because I've been wearing other watches and trying out newer watches, whether permanent watches in my collection or just rotating out some trial watches, and, you know, been flipping some watches. So, but yeah, overall, it's a great part of my collection, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. I think it's something I'll hang on to for a long time. Real quick, this is the factory strap that came with it. It's a NATO OD green. I just didn't like the leather keepers on it. I barely wore it. As you can see, it just barely has a little mark there where the notch was, and I don't like the end, that flat tip on it. Just didn't care for it too much. And nice crown, or Hamilton signed on the buckle. But I typically wear it on this Blue Shark OD green NATO. As you can see, it's got a good impression of the watch. And I just recently Put it on this brown leather just for a change up. So yeah, there you go. That's my quick review on the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical 38. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you.